It's been mentioned many times before that Iowa Western's offensive attack in 2012 was one of the best in NJCAA history, setting multiple records en route to a perfect season. To expect 600 yards and over 60 points in a game again in 2013 seems like an unrealistic expectation. But after opening the season with a 24-17 win at Trinity Valley, the offense found its groove in week 2, blasting Iowa Central 62-10 and didn't let up this past week as they traveled to overmatched Ellsworth on September the 7th. Find out how many points the Reavers rolled up on the Panthers coming up on the Coach Stroh Show right here on CBTV Channel 17. Hello and welcome to the Coach Stroh Show here on CBTV Channel 17. I'm Jake Ryan, joined by Iowa Western head football coach Scott Strohmeyer. Coach, you enter week number 3 after a 52-point blowout win over Iowa Central. What did you talk to the team about? How did you avoid a letdown in week number 3?
Well, you think that's always a concern, you know, coming in off a blowout. But at the same time, I think the biggest thing we stressed is our next opponent, and we're not necessarily looking to who we're playing and how we can improve. And I think if we play our style of ball in this game, that we should be okay. So again, they only get 11. They're guaranteed 11 Saturdays to play, and that was one of them. Hopefully, that's enough motivation to get them up.
Well, in 6 all-time games against Ellsworth, you guys had been shut out in 4 of those in the first quarter. So let's take a look at the highlights and see exactly how that first quarter played out in Iowa Falls. Well, you get the ball. I remember heads call, and Connor said, we'll take the ball first. Here you get Austin White, the brand new tailback, carrying on first down.
Well, we started off, we're going to try to run the football against them, and they come out and just blitz us from all over, and kind of took us out of that. We have to convert, I think, a third down pass here.
Well, third down pass it is to George Seal, and you do convert it. George, wide open in space, right down the middle of the field, gets across the 50.
Well, I think that was big. You know, the first 2 of not very successful, and then get a big third down kind of gets us rolling.
Austin kind of getting his feet under him at the tailback position. You go with him quite a bit here on this first series, and he's a pretty strong runner.
He is. You know, he's a bigger back, and to his credit, he hasn't played. He hasn't been here a lot, you know, to practice. So.
Finally, a pitch out here to Keith Teague on third down. You guys are forced to go for it. And what was with the spot on that first series?
Well, that's what I was disappointed of. I thought we had it. We already had the play signaled in for the next one, but we didn't get it, and defense has to come out.
So much like you saw last week against Iowa Central, Ellsworth runs a 2-quarterback system. This time it's Otis Brown, the quarterback, that carries on second down. And here they try the option look, and not very far on the carry.
Oh, I'll tell you what, our guys, they're running to the football there, and you know, we put them, basically turnover on downs, gave Ellsworth good field position. We had to come out with a good start.
Javen Kilgo, the other quarterback, in addition to Otis Brown, was under pressure all day long from your front 4 and the linebackers.
They did. I mean, they played extremely well. Again, I think we dominated the line of scrimmage.
So they move the ball, Ellsworth does, but then, well, like I said, under pressure all day long. Here's a quarterback sack. Nice job there by Cody Pope getting into the backfield.
You know, really, you know, it shows some of our athleticism on defense. You know, some of these guys running around.
And again, buried, I believe that was Landon Schultz that got in. He had a great day as far as getting into the Ellsworth backfield.
We knew coming in that we were going to have hopefully an opportunity to put some pressure on them.
Jamie Bird just missing the interception there. You start with Keith Teague on the second drive of the game for you, and Keith with several carries.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're going to see it coming up. He makes a guy miss and gets an 8 or 10 yard gain. Just really running the ball well.
Very strong runner, right through the middle. He seems got great vision as he hits that defensive line.
He does, and he's elusive. You know, he makes a couple guy miss or changes direction on someone.
Geronimo Allison with his first catch of the day, and another give to Keese, and he gets up near the 50-yard line and out of bounds.
The way they're pressuring us, and you know, they seen it upstairs, and they wanted to get out to the edge, and did a nice job.
First quarter, very rapid. You end up having to punt that one away again, and then you get the ball back, and it was almost like a running clock. That first quarter went so fast, 0-0 for quite some time.
It was, and it's not, like I said, something that we've been used to, but it was good. I felt our guys were a little bit flat coming out, and I think maybe a little bit of rude awakening.
Well, Kilgo again sacked on this play, a quick 3 and out, and you see the clock there at 3:30, and the Reavers finally get it going. A little pass down the field, and a lot of jerseys being pulled on the wide receivers for Iowa Western. They were really playing pretty physical against you guys.
They were, and they're good in the secondary. That's one of the runs there, Keese. I mean, makes 2 guys miss.
Yeah, and he almost got down there with that spin move at the last minute. Here's the touchdown passes, the first quarter. Oh, check that. There's a run. Touchdown pass coming up here, though, just a straight fade route to Geronimo in the corner.
Yeah, and you knew coming in what type of coverage that they seen upstairs, what type of coverage they're playing. We got Geronimo in the slot, and good snap, good throw, good catch. And
you avoid the first quarter shutout again against Ellsworth. Here's a tackle made as Otis Brown took the quarterback keeper. It looked like the quarterbacks had full decision making on their own just to keep that ball all day long.
They did, and a lot of that's credit to defense. Sometimes you can dictate if you want them to carry it or not, and our guys did a good job. We got them. Hopefully the quarterback pulls it and your backer can get over the top. We know, I've heard you comment that the defense didn't stay sound, and here's a big play of the half. Marcus Montgomery off the block from Cody Polk. He gets in on a muff snap, and Marcus Montgomery, one of the big plays that he made on the day, taking it 50 yards for the touchdown. It was a little bit of a spark. They had struggled with their snaps all day. Jimmy Hawk comes in and kind of gets a little piece of it, and Marcus heads up play, takes it to the end zone. And again, the Ellsworth Panthers in those black and purple jerseys had to be a little bit hot that day. It was a steamy day up in Iowa Falls. And here on the other side, another big run for the Reavers down the sideline. This time it's Bryant Johnson on the little pitch out. And then again, Connor just running that offense very effectively, and the guys picking their way forward, always making something out of nothing. Well, and that's what it maybe hasn't always come as clean as maybe we would like, but we got some guys who are making some plays, making some guys miss, and makes your job a lot easier. Malcolm Moore making a couple good plays today, again slipping out of a tackle and getting down the sideline. Which is crucial, puts you in a doable down and distance on 3rd down. Well, here's something that we haven't seen much, but he does it well. Connor Brevard with the run. The keeper, as he's tackled by Terrell Simmons, and then this next carry, Keese Teague right up the middle. Again, great field vision. Well, and there's 2 guys that were unblocked, and he makes them make their cuts in front of them and takes it for a touchdown. A lot of plays where Ellsworth just didn't get anything going. They tried that middle, and then down the field here, again, a huge hit. Jamie Bird had one later in the game as well, and they just took some punishment today. They did, and when you're going to throw them up and you're getting pressure on the quarterback, the quarterback is a little bit uneasy. Here's a pass to the sideline, and Gmo out-leaping the defender. I believe offside on the defense in that play. You guys decline it. And then on the very next play, Tay Bender, just an absolute missile on this play to Malcolm Moore. He scores his touchdown for the day. Well, he avoids the rush there and breaks the pocket and worked the scramble rule and spotted Malcolm for a nice. That was a big play there. 28-0 at the half. I know you didn't sound happy. We only had part of it because our equipment was in and out because you were so far over there. But talk a little bit about the fact that you went in 28-0. It wasn't all that fantastic of a half, but you did score in the first quarter, even though it was late, and you go up 28-0. It's hard to complain, isn't it? Well, it is, and I, like I said, it was 28-0, not saying that it had to be 56-0 at the half. It was more so I felt prior to the game that we were maybe a little bit flat going in, just my instincts of getting a feel for the team. I didn't feel that our enthusiasm was there in pregame warm-up, and I don't think we came out with great enthusiasm, and that's the biggest thing that was disappointing to me is, like I said, you only get so many opportunities. Sure. Here's one on the road. We can put a team away, and you give a team life. Now you got a battle for 4 quarters, and I felt we could have maybe came out with a little bit more intensity. So 28-0 at the half, and Coach still isn't happy. That's all right, though. When we come back, we'll talk about what he told him at the half, and we'll also look at the second half highlights. The Reavers looking to pull away and improve to 3-0 on the season. We'll be right back.
At Council Bluffs Savings Bank, our goal is to help you, your families, and your businesses grow and prosper for generations. We take pride in our community, whether it's volunteering our time or helping individuals, families, and businesses succeed. We provide you with the personal service and attention you deserve. With over 220 years of banking experience, decisions are made locally. We are Council Bluffs people operating at Council Bluffs Bank to help Council Bluffs be a better place to work and live. Council Bluffs Savings Bank. Hometown banking, the way it used to be. Member FDIC.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
All right, guys, we gotta be smarter about what we bite on, okay? I want everyone to go outside. We're gonna run Red Rover on 3.
What about you, Tony?
I'm gonna run around in circles, flat my arms, and make engine noises like this.
When it comes to playing, we kids are the pros.
We're eating right, too.
We fuel up
To play 60!
Your school doesn't have a program? Be a leader. Start one.
Click today and join the movement.
Back on the Coach Stroh Show on CBTV Channel 17, Iowa Western up 28-0 at halftime of their road contest against Ellsworth. Coach, what did you say to the guys? I know you weren't too pleased, so what were the words at halftime that you can tell us about?
Well, I think the biggest thing is I just wanted to see a little bit more, effort and enthusiasm. That, we were kind of going through the motions, and I wanted to pick up the pace. And I felt we responded fairly well. Again, it would never be an excuse, but they got up early. You hopped on a bus, you drive there. It's hot. You're packed in the bus. You get out, you get dressed, you go play a football game. In that heat, it maybe takes a little bit to get them going, but. Gosh, you only get, like I said, you only get so many opportunities. You'd hope that'd be enough.
I know I asked you this after the game. How much does traveling on game day to a location instead of leaving the day before or 2 days before affect the whole attitude of the team?
Well, I'd like to think that it shouldn't affect you too much, but I mean, it's more the mental approach. When we're on the road, you got them. We got meetings the night before. The morning of, we can, they're kind of gradually putting themselves in that mode. It's hard to get into the game mode when you're riding on a bus, but that's part of it. You have to do it. Other teams got to do it as well, and it's just something that we have to prepare for.
So when you get to leave the day before, it's like Montessori school almost. Very rigid. Let's take a look at the second half highlights. Reavers up 28-0, and again, they won the opening toss, so Ellsworth had the football to start things. Javen Kilgo will be the quarterback, and he'll hand off for a big gain to the tailback, Deshaun Johnson.
That's
on that
not
pitch.
the start we wanted in the second
absolutely
half,
not.
but like I said, we responded here.
So another run, getting forward progress. Finally, some penetration for the Reavers on maybe the next play, not this play, but another big long run, and the Reavers really kind of poking at the ball, forcing the ball, and we're going to see the result here in just a few plays.
Yeah, I think, in a few spots there, we got to not worry so much about the big hit and just make a tackle.
Well, that tailback that they had was a big dude, and here it is. Ashton Henderson, big number 98. Look at the quarterback skills as he gives the pitch off, and the flag almost came immediately. Big run back by Garlock on the return, but it was called back, forward pass, and that will give you the offensive carry this time.
Well, it was a big play. They were driving it a little bit in the second half, not the start we wanted, but then we get the turnover. Then we come back and turn it over.
Yep, something that we haven't seen from Connor all season. His first interception of the season and taken back by Terrell Simmons puts him in pretty good field position.
Exactly. Again, maybe not the start of the second half that we wanted, but again, the defense is put in a tough situation, and we respond to it.
Well, you got to have that bend but don't break attitude, and the Reaver D coming up big all game, and another force here that they force them to turn the ball over.
Yeah, and then now we get it back. Now let's see if we can get something rolling.
I believe Ian Begg on the carry there, and he'll be out of the backfield again. Ian Begg, pretty strong runner out of Ankeny.
I'll tell you what, he had another good game. He had a good game against Iowa Central when he got in, and has earned himself an opportunity to go in.
Fewer carries, same amount of yards here. Reaver loses their helmet, and that is Chris Slugger, that a little dinged up when he came up, but he did walk off the field under his own power. He okay?
He is, and it was a good catch. In traffic on the third down, he had to get it and get took a big hit.
Connor a little out here to the hands of Spencer Smith. He runs down the field past the 50 and finally forced out of bounds. Good run there by Connor. Good decision. Nice pass on the run.
Well, and you haven't seen that a lot. You know, in the last couple of years, that was a big staple of our offense. Teams are trying to take that away, and it was good to see us get back to it a couple times.
Seemed to use the tight end a little bit more in this game. Not quite there yet. Another throw out, this time to the far side of the field towards your sideline, and Alex Reed is going to score his 3rd touchdown as a Reaver.
You know, it makes a guy miss. You put an athlete in space and make a guy miss and take it for a touchdown.
All sorts of issues snapping the ball all day for Ellsworth here. It's high up over the quarterback's head. They lose it, and it'll force, I believe at that time, 3rd and forever. And you force them out here, then they'll be punting the ball away.
Yep, and then, you know, we're putting ourselves in good position.
Another one of those big hits on the day. That time you sounded just like the crowd did on the day.
Yeah, I remember hearing it, and I held my breath. Luckily, the kid's okay. He just got a concussion.
Another pass to the tight end on the far side. Here's Tay, quick release, and across the middle. The Reavers get a gain there, short gain.
Another first down, and now you see Tay, you know, we're working him in a little bit in the run game and some of the things.
Would you say his strength is running the ball or passing the ball?
Well, you know, I think he's pretty solid at both. You know, the reason we utilize him in the run game is he's just a bigger body, and he's got some athletic ability, so it puts a little bit more strain on a defense.
Well, we saw him throw a dart to Malcolm Moore earlier in the game. This time he runs down the right side. This time a pump fake, a little throw to the outside, and completed to Alex Hillier. Out of bounds, good gain there.
Yeah, he went through his progression well, and I felt some pressure and knew where his check down was supposed to be.
And finally, you'll get Tay to the sideline here, hits the pylon. They weren't so sure. Well, they were sure on this one. Another play that I thought they got in, hit the pylon. The referee actually set the pylon back up, but they called the Reavers down later in the game from about the 2-yard line.
This is, you know, like I said, a good run puts us up 56-0, and now defense back out.
And Javen Kilgo all day on the run, and this time forced out of bounds on that far sideline. And again, we've seen all the touchdowns, but on this drive, you get into field goal range, and again, good decision making for Tay Bender. Another long run. He hasn't ripped off a long run where he's found pay dirt yet, though.
Right. Well, hopefully we'll get to that sometime. But again, anytime you're hitting a big chunks of yards and that quarterback can run, it puts the defense, puts a little bit more stress on them.
There's another good run, I believe, by Alex Hillier. Here is the run that I believe stretches out and hits the pylon, but they call, well, no, not this one. I keep thinking it's coming up. I bet they didn't put it on here, so people think I'm crazy. But Bender looking to the end zone here.
Right here it is.
And now the run in, fakes there at the 10. Hits the pylon with the football, and they'll say he's out of bounds at the 2-yard line. So that's up a long field goal for Danny Hamilton, 18 yards, about as short as it can get, Coach.
Right. Well, it was good. Obviously we wanted to get a touchdown. You know, we're still trying to score,
Sure.
but you know, to get a field goal lets your kicker get in.
First safety of the season right there, a snap over the head of the quarterback, and finally J.D. Colgett steps in, victory formation, 3-0. You win the game 61-0. Did they play better in the second half, did you think?
I did. Like I said, I didn't think we came right out in the third quarter and played, you know, they drove it on us a little bit. We turned it over. But, you know, we responded, and I felt we played a lot better as the game went. You know, to be up, to win 61-0, you know, and maybe they're not trying as hard or whatever, they're giving up. But I felt our kids played, you know, pretty hard in that second
Doesn't
half.
feel like football weather yet. That might have something to do with it. It was a hot day in Iowa Falls.
For the third straight week, we've played in some pretty brutal weather. Hopefully that prepares us down the line. You know, but it's tough. It's draining physically and mentally when you're out there, you know, playing in that type of heat.
So your team, the number 3 in the country, you win 61-0. Let's take a look at some of the stats in the game. Here's a good one: 8 touchdowns by 8 different Reavers. Not a single person had more than 1 score in the game. Pretty good spreading out of the offense.
Well, for sure. I mean, any time that, you know, you can spread it that, you know, amongst 8 guys, I think for future opponents that we play, it makes it tough. You can't just focus on one person.
Another good day by Akis going over 100 yards. Another good day by Geronimo, still the leading receiver. He didn't get as many yards as he's had in the past, but also didn't get as many opportunities as he was out for much of that second half.
Yeah, you know, and you know, we had a few early on, and what they were doing, you know, we didn't maybe get in the right position. But again, he had a solid day. I think Akis in the first half, he didn't take a snap in the second half. He went over 100 yards. We had solid play from the quarterback position again, played for the most part well up front.
And how about Marcus Montgomery's day? We talked about his touchdown run, but he also had a fumble recovery and an interception, and he played pretty well in relief of basically your entire starting linebacking crew being out.
I'll tell you what, the defensive performance was I thought was really good. To have 3 starting linebackers out, all your 2s in, and the way they played with Marcus Montgomery, Cody Polk, and Anthony Brown. And starting for the first time in all 3 of them, and did a nice job up front. We did a nice job in the secondary. So we're playing pretty well defensively, and I think that you're always going to have a chance if you play well defensively.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, we talked about Marcus Montgomery. His punt return or punt block for return was courtesy of Jimmy Hawk, a guy that will sit down next with IWTV's Aaron Zack, part of the Sports Media Technology program here at Iowa Western. They will be here when we return to the Coach Stroh Show. You're watching it on CBTV Channel 17.
Here we go. What? What?
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent, because kids in foster care don't need perfection. They need you.
Hi, how are you doing today?
What looks good?
Our special today is shrimp scampi. It's been sitting around for about a week.
Excuse me, what time are you guys leaving? We're gonna rob your house tonight.
Don't you wish there were warnings to protect you from life's risks? With diabetes, there is one. It's called A1C, a simple blood test that helps measure your risk of a heart attack and other complications. Learn more at diabetesaonc.org.
Welcome back to the Coach Stroh Show. I'm Aaron Zack, joined by Iowa Western strong safety, Jimmy Hawk. Jimmy, thank you so much for showing up today.
Well, thank you.
Everybody knows it's nice to win. How's it feel to be 3-0 for the season so far?
It's a good feeling, and the guys are playing real well, and it's nice to get out there and get a couple games under your belt.
So let's go back to that 4th down when you blocked the punt. You were setting up on the line of scrimmage, right?
Yep.
What was your mindset going through that?
Well, Coach Pike came up to me and he's like, "Jimmy, we're gonna get this punt." So going through my mind, I was like, I got to get this punt. And I saw once the snap happened, I saw this huge seam open up, and I saw the punter kind of fumbling around with it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get it.
So what was your reaction when your fellow teammate caught the ball in midair and then took it 50 yards back for its scoring touchdown?
Well, right when I tried to block it, I got right back up and I'm looking around for the ball, and I didn't see the ball, and I was like, oh God, there's going to be a penalty. And so I turn around real quick and I see Marcus catch it, and I was like, oh God, we need to get this into the end zone. So I turn around and blocked the punter.
That's awesome. What kind of feeling does that give you when you know you blocked a punt and then you return it for a scoring touchdown?
It was a real good feeling, especially getting a spark for that offense and just getting the team going.
I want to quote a famous football player who recently just retired. He said, "In any war, who pulls their general out? Nobody. When I put on that jersey, that 52, every man in this building believes in one thing. Whatever our general says, we follow." Who would you think would be your general for the defense?
For the defense, definitely Coach Blackburn. Definitely Coach Blackburn.
And why is that?
He's a D coordinator, and he knows what's going on all the time, knows what the line's doing, he knows what the offense is doing. He's calling plays from the sideline right before, so I have to be Coach Black.
So what are your plans after playing football then?
Just going into business.
What kind of a business?
Any right now.
Any right now?
Yep, yes sir.
So I want to ask you an important question, because I think about this mostly every time I drive to Iowa Western or I drive to one of your games. When you get done playing football, and when you get done or you retire from your business, whatever that may be, and you look back on your life, what do you really want people to remember about you, or what kind of a foundation for a legacy do you want to leave behind?
Just that I gave it 100% all the time, and that I left it all out on the field or in my job, and that's how I want people to remember me.
All right. Thank you, Jimmy, so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you very much.
Coming up after the break, the voice of the Reavers, Jake Ryan, sits down with Coach Stroh to talk about what's next for the third-ranked Reavers. We'll be right back.
This ready.
Oh, come on, Randy. Animal shelter, here I come. And no, I'm not crazy or emotionally damaged. That's a stereotype. I just belong to a total loser. I'm a good dog. So if you want a pet, adopt. And if you see Randy, tell him he dropped his wallet.
The Stroh Show continues on CBTV Channel 17 from the studios here at Iowa Western. The third-ranked Iowa Western football team improving to 3-0, and the offense has been getting a lot of the attention, and rightfully so. But, Coach, the defense, they did just fine as well on Saturday, posting their 9th shutout in school history and their first of the season.
They've, obviously with the shutout on Saturday, but they've played pretty well for all 3 games, and holding a Trinity Valley team to 17 and Iowa Central getting, 10 and then to a shutout. So they've been playing solid. We got to continue to keep it up. I didn't think it was 9 shutouts. We got to get more than that, I think. A little pressure on them.
Well, I tell you what, there's going to be pressure this week because not only does Coach Blackburn have to worry about the Wildcats, but he's also got to worry about, he's got a new daughter at home. So congratulations to Coach Mike Blackburn, who had a brand new baby. Maddie Jo, I believe, is what her full name is Madeline, though. So we don't want to get too much ahead of ourselves.
Can't give out the nicknames yet.
That's right. Yeah. Speaking of not too much ahead of ourselves, you look at that schedule, and there's a game looming as you guys stay third in this week's poll. There's a game looming against now the number 7 team. On September the 28th, you've got DuPage at home next weekend. You've got Science, obviously, in Wahpeton this week. How do you keep the team focused, and what can you tell us about the Wildcats?
Well, like I said, I mean, we're taking it one game at a time, and I think some of our guys, they might look ahead at it, but at the same time, if you don't take care of what's ahead of you, it doesn't matter what's down the line. So that's our focal point, is taking care of North Dakota. They're coming off a tough defeat. They beat Ellsworth a couple weeks ago, and then they got beat by College of DuPage. So just looking at their film, they're not going to change a lot of what they've done in the past. It's a tough place to play. They're a lot better team at home when they beat Ellsworth than they are on the road when they lost to DuPage, and that's just the way they've always been. So we're going to have to be ready to go and get some guys back and some guys healthy so we can get back to full strength hopefully here soon and see what we can do.
One of those overnight trips, but it's a short overnight trip, about 5.5, 6 hours from Omaha. Maybe your last trip to Wahpeton for quite some time. Do you take any fond memories out of going to Wahpeton?
I don't. I mean, like I said, it's a neat atmosphere of their field right on campus when you get up there. But I'm not gonna. They're saying it potentially 60-some degrees up there.
Nice.
And windy. So, and I always say when it says 10 miles an hour, 10 mile per hour winds, it feels like 30 up in North Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
So. That's going to be my memories of it, is it's always windy and generally cold.
You told us that last year, and it was beautiful.
It was, I know.
But you're right, it has been. I mean, I remember the first time we played there, it was a cold, wet day, and if only Kiva Streeter would have been 2 inches taller, we might have walked out of there with a victory. But
and potentially a bowl game that first year.
That's right. So Wahpeton on Saturday, the Wildcats and the Reavers. Game time 1 o'clock. It should be a noon pregame. Make sure we can talk to you during that time at some point as well. And we brought in a mini helmet today. You want to show that to the cameras? I know It's kind of in the background right now, but the Reaver mini helmet. And this one isn't the new alternate helmet. It's the original with the new Reaver head on it.
Yeah, well, we got these, a little fundraiser for the football program. Everyone needs one, I think, for their office.
Absolutely.
And if you're interested, you can contact me or Jake, and think $25 is what we're selling them for, and hopefully we can get rid of all of them.
Yeah, well, hopefully. I got a big box in my office. So, Coach Strohmeyer, obviously, sstrohmeyer@iwcc.edu, or you can shoot me an email as well, jryan@iwcc.edu. Well, thanks, Coach, for another edition of the Coach Stroh Show.
Well, thank you. It's always a pleasure.
That wraps up this edition of the Coach Stroh Show. We'd like to thank head coach Scott Strohmeyer and Jimmy Hawk for joining us in studio. And, of course, thanks to you for tuning in, the hardworking crew of IWTV helping out, and CBTV 17. My name is Jake Ryan, signing off. We'll talk to you Saturday. And remember, good luck and go Reavers.